Life is absolutely beautiful. And you got to live it. So hello and welcome to another video of Diary of a Cancer Survivor. My name's John, and back in December 2022 I was diagnosed with colorectal cancer, colon cancer, bowel cancer. And these videos are about my journey to healing, where I try and share as much hopefully useful information, tips about what I went through, and hopefully help you along your cancer journey. I'm about to fall over a stile. It's the problem with walking and talking and holding a phone. I'm undoubtedly going to fall on my arse, but hey, make for great viewing. So the one thing I strongly recommend that you do every single day for at least 30 minutes is exactly what I'm doing now. That's getting outside and going for a walk. It doesn't have to be in the middle of nowhere. It doesn't have to be along fields. If it's just around your streets, then do it. It's incredible for you. It'll uplift your spirits. It releases all those great mood boosting chemicals in your brain. And trust me, you will feel better. The problem being is when we really don't feel like it, we don't think there will be a benefit to getting outside and going for a walk until we've been outside and gone for a walk. Just to mix it up a little bit, some fluffy little sheep things. That one's staring at me quite menacingly. He's turned away. I'm not trespassing, I am following public footpaths. I'll post a link actually, if you live in England and you're watching this, there's a brilliant app that shows loads of different walks local to you or wherever you are. A lot of them follow public footpaths, and you just wouldn't, most fields have public footpaths through them, and you just wouldn't walk it. Sometimes you do think you're literally walking through somebody's garden, but there's some stunning walks. There's some incredible scenery over here. I absolutely love it. And one of the main reasons that I make sure that I go out and walk as much as I do, just navigating a gate, 2 gates. In fact, make sure I shut it behind me. Is obviously, as I mentioned, we all know exercise. Not that we do it. I was guilty for that. We all know that exercise releases the feel-good chemicals, gets the heart beating, the blood flowing, helps us live longer, improves the longevity of our lives, the quality of our lives. 1,000,001 health benefits. But for me, one of the key reasons, those aside, are for my mental health, my mental well-being. Before my diagnosis, it was one of the things I wasn't looking after myself. There was the exercise element. I was very sedentary. I didn't really move. Sat at a desk all day, feeling sorry for myself, feeling unhappy. And to be honest, I just couldn't be asked to go out for a walk. It was just a struggle to motivate myself. And that's the problem when you're in a kind of, I'm going to say a depression. I wasn't depressed, but I was in a state of depression. I think there's a huge difference. Maybe I'll do a video on that one day. I'm now navigating a bridge. Let me show you. Cool, cute little bridge. Yeah, so I was in a depressed state, very low mood, very tired, and partly obviously that was to do with the cancer. I was anemic, so tiredness is inevitable. My hemoglobin levels, ferritin levels are on their arse. That's the technical term. But yeah, I wasn't doing what I knew I should. but for me, getting out in nature. So when I come, so at the moment I'm hammock camping, so there's a farm not too far from me, about 20 minutes drive, and they've got a small little pine wood, and for a small fee they let me come along and tie my hammock to some of their trees, and I usually just here rock up in the morning, stay overnight, and then go home the next day. And I say this to my partner, as soon as I leave the house, my body just relaxes. It's like, okay, I know it's just me in the woods, back to basics, sleeping in a hammock, going for a hike or a walk, cooking on a grill, get a fire going in the evening, and it's just the simple, minimalistic life. And I think we all, I don't want to say crave that, I don't want to speak for you, but I think we can certainly benefit from more minimalism in our lives. I think life's so busy with social media and work and family and all the dramas that come with all those things, that we need to take time out for ourselves. And that's the other thing I learned in my cancer diagnosis. I'm swapping hands, my arms are so weak. To start doing more things for me, and before, you know, just coming away for the day, I always felt guilty leaving my girlfriend, which may sound crazy, but you know, if you're a people pleaser, deep down you care about what people think, and you know, just taking yourself off and leaving her with the dog, it's a big deal. So yeah, I realised that I need to do more things that I love doing for myself, and it gives me the opportunity to get some headspace and practice a lot of mindfulness, and it really enables me to record these videos. I find it a lot easier to do this when I'm out and about than I would, you know, sat at a desk recording them in my office. Beautiful little lake now. There's a house up there. Lucky buggers. Stunning. And how can you not feel better just being out here? But the other thing that I wanted to mention is it's not just about walking. Because if you're going through your cancer journey, whether you've just been diagnosed or you've been living for it for a while, you probably have a very busy mind for so many reasons, for all the reasons that cancer brings. And you know, when I promised myself, and my other half kept poking me and prodding me to get walking every day, bless her, absolute rock. Yeah, feel a bit emotional there. It is extremely powerful, but I still had a lot of mind chatter, and that was the problem before my diagnosis. I've not really talked about what I believe caused my cancer, because obviously you'll be told it's just a game of chance. I don't believe that. But one of my symptoms, one of the things building up, I was very unhappy, and I had a lot of internalized chatter, a lot of pressure on myself to be a certain way, to act a certain way. And I've worked through this in the past with therapists, and I help people through their own stuff. I think it's really powerful if you've worked through it, but I don't know if we 100% heal from these things. Early years trauma, but we do our best. But even when I was going out for a walk, there'd be a lot of chatter, a lot of thinking, and obviously cancer just adds to that. It's crazy. So I had to go back to roots, and several years ago I used to teach meditation and mindfulness online, so I had to go back to that. And it's just so powerful to pause and breathe. Especially when you're outside in the fresh air. Another thing you see a lot around here, I don't know if you can see it, pheasants. Apology for the camera work. In a second you will definitely see it because it will panic. There you go. Pheasants. So I urge you to get outside every day for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour. But if you can't do 30 minutes, build up. After my surgery, Vicky and I, my partner, we just walked to the end of the road and then a little bit further. And then I built up to 30 minutes, and within a few weeks I could walk for half an hour. Then I picked up the pace and walked faster. But just do what you can do and don't pressure yourself. But do what you can do. Please, for you, for me. If it helps, do it for me. Get yourself out there and go for a walk. And just notice, whatever you do with any of this, with your cancer diagnosis, with whatever you're going through, don't beat yourself up for feeling or behaving in a certain way, because it's okay. This is not easy. It was never going to be. But it's fixable. I don't want to say curable. I don't know your position or situation. But you can get through it. And it's just making those little changes. I transformed my life literally overnight. But I'm weird. But just make those little everyday changes. And when you are walking, if you do notice that you want to keep reaching for your phone, or your mind's racing and you're thinking about cancer or life or whatever it might be, just notice it. You don't have to necessarily change it. Definitely don't beat yourself up, but just notice, just say, wow, yeah, my mind's really busy. And, you know, as I was doing back there, very out of breath. But just bring your attention back to your breath. Notice your breathing, and it's extremely powerful. And if you practice that every day when you walk, it can really help with your state of mind, and it can help slow you down, and it can help make things just feel like a little bit easier and easier to manage. Certainly when it comes to overwhelm and anxiety, it's a powerful tool, just being outside, walking and being mindful. And equally, you're doing something for you. If you need to go with somebody, that's great. The reason I like to go on my own is because it helps me decompress and process. You know, I really see when I'm out on my own, because I'm not being distracted by talking to the other person. If you're with somebody and they're happy with silence, then that's great. But your body just processes those things, and you can recharge and refresh. So that's my number one tip, because it's extremely powerful, and I think it often gets overlooked. You get stuck in the treadmill of treatment and everything else. So get out there, go for a walk, be mindful, and remember, you're not just your cancer, you're still very much a person. Sending you big love. Let me know in the comments below, if you do get out for a walk, how you feel. I'd love to hear. Big love. John.